Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. You know what? Where's Hawk at? Listener discretion advised.
Welcome to the Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. I am Electro, of course.
Yo, what's up? This is Bono.
And we are back again with another exciting edition of the Movie Power Hour. We're big fans of movies around here. We're fans of Power Hours too, I think.
Yeah, we keep some time.
I think we're
roughly
also
around an hour, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, we've been going to the movie theater a lot, of course. And it's very interesting because David Fincher's new movie, The Killer, is out, which we will be talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not get released in the movie theater because it's a fucking Netflix movie,
that's the weird part. They have released Netflix movies.
So this movie was released theatrically very limited.
Oh, okay.
I remember like Knives Out was out for a weekend or a week. If you did not see it at that time, you have to wait till it's out on Netflix. And so I was able to go watch that in Monterey when the Scorsese movie came out. What was it?
What the fuck was it?
The Irishman.
I was gonna say Gentleman.
They were playing that in our local movie theater.
Right.
But you know, that was a big Oscar movie and shit.
Right,
so
right.
I think they knew that this kind of movie was not gonna be nominated for best fucking picture or something, or best director, which I think it should. When it comes to best director, this is probably one of the best directed movies I've seen. The movie is gorgeous. It's fucking
for sure
flawless.
Yeah, it's
David Fincher.
Pretty movie. Yeah.
David Fincher can make anything look fucking good and elegant, sexy, dude. Everything looks fucking good. So the movie itself looks fantastic, and I think it would deserve several Oscar nominations, not for like best picture. I mean, in my eyes, I think it could be. I loved this movie. I don't know about you. I guess I'm reading from you. You did not enjoy it.
It was just. Well, I mean, we'll get into it, but yeah, it was. I wouldn't say one of his best. It's a good movie. It looks pretty as fuck. That I will give it. He made Paris look pretty. Here we go. Let's say that.
What? I mean, that's not hard to do, is it?
I mean,
you've been in Paris?
Yeah, unless
shithole, you're saying.
It's a dirty place. Other than the tourist shit, of course. But I mean, obviously, he's not focusing on that. But it was a pretty movie. It's just, I don't know. We'll get into it as we go through it. But it was nice to look at. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I scoured when I found out this movie was officially in theaters. I looked to see like where I can see it. Nowhere in there. I love David Fincher. I would go to San Jose, even San Francisco, maybe, which is like a 2-hour drive for us.
Right.
San Jose is about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I would be willing to do a 2-hour fucking voyage to go see the new David Fincher movie in a movie theater because, I mean,
you're
David
a
Fincher,
sick bastard and you're down.
I have a movie podcast.
Yeah.
But David Fincher, which I don't know if you agree, but I mean, he's top 3 of my favorite directors working right now.
Right.
So if I choose how to watch his movie, obviously I'm going to want to see it on the big screen.
I get what you're saying.
And the fact that I couldn't do that was like very frustrating, man. Like,
I also think that plays a huge role into this whole, like, right now that we were looking at the Rotten Tomatoes of it, you see the audience, there's like 1,000+ reviews. You know, like you say, when you go to the theater, you're going for the experience as well. This movie was a Netflix release film. You're watching that at home on your phone or whatever device you're using. So that for sure probably takes away from its value.
Absolutely.
Because I felt that way. I was at home watching it. In fact, watched it twice. And I was still like, what the fuck? Why? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it is good background, a good background film to have that will capture your eye and be like, what the fuck is going on here? Because my boy's killing it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like watching it at home, it definitely I knew that if I had seen that in the movie theater, I probably would have been like, that might have been the best thing I've ever fucking seen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Screaming it.
Yeah. And so the first time I watched it, I happened to be on vacation. I had just gone on vacation. The Killer just came out. I'm fucking sick. Like, I'm sick. I'm in bed. Like, fucking, I'm down. And I'm like, new Killer. All right, let's throw it on. So I watched it in bed. The TV in my room, it's okay, but movies don't look the best on there. Like, if I want to watch a movie, especially for the first time, It's not the ideal place to watch it. But I was in bed sick. I didn't want to go out into the house and infect anybody else. So I had to watch it sick in bed. And I don't know. There was just something that I was very into the movie. But it was like, and it was like in the morning, the room was fucking bright, you know, I was just like, I know I'm not experiencing this movie good, you know?
Same here. Honestly, we watched it that weekend that came out. We were out in Visalia for Mia's quince, right?
Yeah.
And the next morning we were just hanging out, you know, having breakfast. Chilling. Now the kids are playing in the yard. We stayed at this pretty dope Airbnb, but
yeah,
I threw that shit on and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. And dude, I was so fried. I was so done.
Yeah.
I was literally just passing out on that couch.
Yeah.
You know, windows open, like you say, no shades drawn or anything. And I mean, I was into it. I was definitely invested. The intention was to watch, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just, fuck it, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get that experience all the way through. And then I watched it at home last night too. And then, no, I had watched it before and then watched replayed again for all the bits. So I was like, wait, do I remember what happens here?
Mm-hmm.
Next scene, next sequence. And I did, and I was still like, fuck. Maybe that didn't help the situation either. I'm sure it didn't.
Right.
But even still, I don't know. I could do that with most of his other films. I mean, just listen to the episodes we have here. We did a whole comparison with him and Nolan.
We had our Nolan Fincher series, which, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, go listen to it, trip out on it. But yeah, you can see the difference. And of course, you have Nolan doing his thing. So, I mean, these are active directors, and this is the shit that they're putting out. You know what I mean?
What's crazy, too, talking about Nolan and Fincher, when we did our series, we'd have to look back at it. But I feel like they've been consistently kind of putting out movies at the same time and shit.
Yeah.
Like Tenet and Mank came out. I mean, that was pandemic shit.
Sure.
But they still kind of came out around the same time.
Right.
And now The Killer and Oppenheimer both come out in the same year. It's like they're working around the same pace. I know Fincher took a bit of a break there, but he also had a head start on fucking Nolan. Fucking Fincher started directing features in 92. I can't remember what year following, or Memento was definitely like 2000. Following might have been 99, 97. Let's see. 98. So yeah, it's interesting. Like, so we did the whole series about, they're my two favorite directors. Quentin Tarantino is also looming out there for the number 3 spot, but also maybe Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese might just be number 1. Like,
yeah. Especially with talk about being active. Look, he just dropped a film too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I watched Killers of the Flower Moon in the movie theater. I watched it in XD, and I had a bad movie experience in that.
For that one, what?
Yeah, but it was my own fault. A little tangent here, but that's a 3.5 hour long movie.
Okay. Yeah.
And I decided to get kind of drunk before the movie.
I see.
I didn't get drunk, but I was like
heavily buzzed.
I went to go watch it in Marina, and there's a little bar like right there in the little same shopping center. So I was like, let's go to this little bar, tragos coquetos.
Okay.
You know?
Y vamos a ver qué pedo.
Yeah. I think I had like a couple Manhattans, you know, nice little whiskey.
Okay.
And then, you know, I had a couple more drinks during the movie, a couple beers. So
they serve beer there?
No.
They did. I know.
So yeah, I had a couple beers, and And I got the tickets, like I wanted them in the back XD, right? I could get a big ass screen.
Full, yeah.
And I usually like to sit not all the way to the back, but like third, fourth row.
Right.
Because that's like where you kind of have the best like room.
Right.
But those seats were taken, so I sat all the way in the very last row.
Oh.
Giant fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Because I picked the seats in the middle of the aisle, right, for the best view.
Right.
The top row is very narrow.
Yep.
And like the people in front of you are like right at your feet, basically. And if you want to get up and go to the bathroom, it's difficult. Yeah. You basically have to touch everybody on your way out.
Yeah.
And I went to go watch it opening night. The room was packed. Well, actually, the room wasn't packed.
The row was.
Those sections were packed. Okay. People that were there to. They knew what the fuck they were watching. You know, like not everybody went to go see that movie weekend.
For sure.
That theater was half empty, but all the good seats were taken.
Right.
And that's the point. I was like, like I should have just sat over there and been more comfortable.
Right.
But the movie, I spent a lot of the time thinking about not peeing, really.
Right.
I was like, oh my God. Like the first hour, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The second hour, I was like...
An endurance test?
Because I got up twice to pee.
Right.
And I'm annoying the fuck out of these people.
You're annoying me right now, bro. And I'm not even there, dude.
And I'm like, fuck, like I don't want to keep getting up.
Right.
And I was too buzzed to, instead of like the first time I came back, to just go sit somewhere else.
Right.
And so by the time that I need to go pee the third time, I'm like, just don't want to get up because I'm being annoying.
Yeah.
So I just powered through that movie, like having to pee, not enjoying it.
Right.
So yeah, I ruined Killers of the Flower Moon for myself.
Was Brendan good in it though?
Fraser, yeah.
Okay,
of course.
Cool. That's enough for me.
Is that even something you had to fucking ask me?
Just say,
Brendan Fraser good? Yes.
Always.
Next question, fucking Mora. You're talking about Rick O'Connell? Yeah, he was
do
good.
no wrong.
Yeah, he was good, dude. Fuck.
Watch that.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry for that for that little tangent.
Nah, man, but that's part of it too, because like you say, not everyone's going to the movies, and you know, it is a weird time because there's been a slowdown. October was okay. September had a bunch of hitters. And then you kind of fall into the end of the year now.
It's dying down. There's not a lot of... I was just looking through the movies I watched this year. And after September, like I was going to the movies steady, like 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a month.
Right.
And then once September hit, I like stopped going to the movies.
Right.
There hasn't been really much that I've been interested in watching.
Right. And then you get movies like this, and of course you see that fucking Fincher's got his stamp on it.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. And so
I'll willfully watch this movie, right?
Yeah. And so, like I said, the first time I watched it in bed, sick, in my room, and then when the fight scene happens, and when he breaks into that guy's house and they have that pretty awesome fight scene,
mm-hmm.
I couldn't see what was happening in that scene, right? Like, because of the sun, the glare, fucking...
It's a pretty dark sequence.
And I couldn't see anything. So I actively fucking turned it off. I was like, I can't see what's going on. And I went into the garage because there's a fucking TV in there and there's no windows in the fucking garage, so you could get it fucking dark.
Yeah.
And I just went in there and I finished watching the movie there. Just to have, and it looked much fucking. The TV in there is also a lot fucking better.
Oh, cool.
So I finished watching the movie like that, and the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, "This is interesting,"
right?
I don't know. I was captivated by the whole fucking thing. I was never bored by the movie. Like, it had my attention. And as it was progressing, I was like, what is going on? Like,
Right.
I felt like it built good tension to where I was kind of like, what's going to happen or what's going to do next, you know?
Right.
Like, I wasn't like disappointed by it like some people were. As we could see by the fucking audience score here.
Yeah.
So The Killer has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Right.
but a 59% audience score.
Yeah.
Let's see what it has on IMDb. 6.8. What do you give The Killer?
I would say that's about right. Like a 7 because it's Fincher. But
Right.
enjoyable as a movie, a 6.8 sounds perfect.
Interesting. I think I like this movie a lot more than you did. I would give it like an 8. A solid 8.
Okay.
I really like this movie. And then, so like I said, first experience I watched it wasn't ideal. The second time I watched it, like you said, we went to my goddaughter's quinceañera.
Yep.
But when we returned that night, I was like, okay, we're going to watch The Killer. We're going to watch it in the living room, in the big screen,
Yep.
with the fucking lights, looking nice.
Yes.
And surround sound in the dark.
Yeah.
Like a more ideal way. Fucking put the fucking phone away, watch the fucking movie, you know?
Right.
And the second time I watched it, I was like, okay, I think this movie's pretty fucking outstanding. I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic.
Right.
And so you did not think that.
No, I mean, it is a good movie. The character's great. I mean, of course, you got my boy in there just looking good, man. I'll tell you what, that dude.
Fassbender?
Yeah, of course.
Let's see how fucking old Fassbender is. What year?
Born 77. Let's hit that electro math.
Fuck. So let's see.
He's like 50. About to be 50. He's like 47.
77. That's 11 more years than me.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not. Is it?
88? You're born 88?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 11? See the electromath?
It's kicking in.
It works, but then I
Question it.
question it.
So, what's your age plus
So-
11, buddy?
He's 46.
Okay, see, almost 50 for sure.
He looks good.
He does look good.
Fassbender. Let's look at Mr. Fassbender's fucking filmography. He's a good fucking actor, right? You
I like him. I like him. Fuck yeah. As David, right? He plays
Yeah.
David and
So everybody's been making this connection since he hadn't been in a movie since Dark Phoenix.
okay.
That was in 2019. Remember, we went to go see that in
Yeah,
the
we
movie
saw that.
theater. Isn't it crazy to think that he hadn't made a movie in between all this time?
That is crazy. Yeah. Alien was before that?
Yeah, of course.
Whoa.
And then before that, he did this movie called The Snowman, which I've never seen, but it's supposed to be like a ridiculous movie. Look at what his name is in that movie.
Harry Hole? What?
Harry Hole.
Why? Who
I don't
directed
know.
that shit?
Yeah, I think this was supposed to be like a Fincher ripoff kind of a thing. It's about like a serial killer that he's hunting called the Snowman. He kills people. Look at this.
What?
Oh, fuck. See, this guy, he throws snow at bitches and then kills them.
Oh, wow.
I think.
Just in the winter season, huh?
This is Jack Frost too.
I was
Remember
about
that?
to say, it's like a Frost fucking reboot. You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't, but it's a notorious, I think that the director didn't even get to film the end of the movie or something.
What?
So the movie just kind of ends notoriously. Look, it has Rebecca Ferguson
What
in it.
the hell?
Like, on paper, this movie looks like it should be good.
Right.
Michael Fassbender, after the fucking Snowman serial killer, Rebecca Ferguson's there.
Right.
Seems like a fucking winner. But it's notorious for, I don't know, I guess just the production of this movie was very weird or something. I don't know what happened. But I think that they didn't finish filming it. And so the movie just kind of ends and those people are just like, what the fuck?
Why would they release that?
Probably because Michael Fassbender
Need
is
that.
is in it, right? They're like, we could just sell this movie because he's in it.
Right. Plus, we need to pay the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they probably paid him. I mean, he made the movie. They have to pay him. Anyway, those are the last two movies that he made before The Killer. Then Alien Covenant, which obviously
Right.
fucking rules. We're some of the only Alien Covenant defenders. I think that was fucking awesome.
Proudly. I don't give a fuck.
Assassin's Creed, I never watched it.
No, I didn't either.
I recently bought it because it was $5 on 4K, and I was like, you know what?
Well,
Let me give. I might give this movie a fucking spin one day. Like Michael Fassbender, I'm in. X-Men Apocalypse.
Yep.
Steve Jobs. Did you ever watch Steve Jobs?
I didn't.
It's not bad. It's an interesting movie. He's good. I think he got nominated for an Oscar for it. Macbeth, didn't watch that. Slow West. X-Men Days of Future Past, good. 12 Years a Slave. Did you watch 12 Years a Slave?
I didn't.
Prometheus. Haywire. Did you watch Haywire?
Doesn't sound familiar.
The one with the MMA chick, Carla. What's her name? Is it Carla? Oh no, Gina Carano.
Okay, yeah.
Fucking Ewan McGregor, Michael Fassbender, fucking Channing Tatum, Antonio Banderas,
Dude,
Michael Douglas.
Wow.
Hitters. Billy Paxton.
Wow.
I love this movie. It's actually it's about also like a hit woman. It's kind of like in the same universe. This is also a fun ass, awesome movie. You should watch Haywire.
Like a shoot 'em up movie type stuff.
It's about assassins, bro.
That's cool.
Look, you're seeing Fassbender at work right here.
It's doing his thing though. See what I mean?
She's an MMA fighter though. She got him with that triangle. Anyways, yeah. So obviously, the first thing I ever saw him in was Inglourious Basterds.
I think it was for me, Inglourious Basterds.
He did this movie I watched, Eden Lake. Did you ever watch Eden Lake?
No, definitely not.
That movie's fucked up. It's a good movie. You should give it a watch.
Steve.
Play
Steve, huh?
Steve. Yeah, Michael Fassbender, man. But anyways, The Killer.
Let's get into it. I mean, it is what it is.
I like it. The way the movie just starts, the credits. What do you think about the credits?
I thought it was cool. The whole opening sequence is really nice.
Like the first 15 minutes are pretty fucking outstanding. I don't know. I like the whole fucking movie, dude.
Right.
But it starts off awesome. The titles, they basically show you like all the classic ways that a hitman might fucking kill somebody.
Right.
Did you ever play those Hitman games?
I did. Like number 2.
But like, have you not played any of the recent ones? They're fucking great. It reminded me a lot of this, but they're like very strategic. Like you got to dress up, you got to fight in something, dress up.
Right.
You got your mark, and you need to figure out how you're gonna kill them. You could poison them. You could fucking corner them. You know,
right.
A bunch of different ways you could kill
rather
people.
than the run up and shoot.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's a bunch of different ways you could go about it, and it's very strategic. And that reminded me a lot about this. It's like, okay, like this guy has 100 fucking ways to kill you, and he's gonna kill you in what he considers is gonna be like the most smart way to go about it.
Right.
I think this movie's fucking awesome. I love the narration.
Yeah.
This narrator is talking to you like he is the greatest assassin ever.
Right.
He plans everything so meticulously, you know, like every last detail is planned. Yet he messes every fucking job. Every time he's gonna kill somebody, he messes up in some way.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's fucking. I think it's fucking good.
Right.
And people are bringing up a lot about how this is kind of Fincher speaking about how he directs movies.
Right.
Like he's basically being like, this protagonist here, he plans his shit out like I plan my movies out.
Right.
Like I'm trying to do everything absolutely fucking perfect.
Right.
Like everything has to be perfect. Everything has to line up. Otherwise, it's no fucking good.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, it's just like his commentary being like, I could try my best to make the perfect movie, but maybe he'll never be satisfied with the product he puts in, or people are never going to be satisfied.
The outcome of it. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if he really went that serious with it, or it's just, you know, the coincidence of, you know, what we, the audience, or, you know, you guys more, the nerds,
hey,
who are into it like that. And I mean, it makes sense. It sounds about right. Cause yeah, at the end, he's like, either you believe to have been like the select few, or you're just the part of the bunch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it says that when in the beginning, he's like, there's not a lot of us out there doing this shit. In fact, there's a handful of us who are really, really good at what we do. So, I mean, that makes sense. I'm not saying that that's out of the realm of possibility, but if he really gives a fuck like that, to just be like, well, I'm on top, I'm gonna get Netflix to scratch my back on this, which is like, I mean, the movie was really pretty, down to that last fucking scene too, like super fucking pretty. So I'm sure whatever check he got, he was like, cool, I'll still give you what you want and some. And I could even kind of be this joking fucking dude in the background saying, who gives a fuck?
Well, fucking Fincher hasn't had a movie released in the movie theater since 2014, Gone Girl. After that, he spent 2 years doing Mindhunter on Netflix, which is outstanding.
Right.
But he didn't direct all of them. He directed 7 episodes out of the 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he does Mank, which people, again, were not satisfied with Mank. You know, he hasn't made a movie since Gone Girl. 6-year gap between fucking movies, and he does Mank, which I really enjoyed.
I liked Mank.
I thought it was great, but
I don't think the general public would like Mank.
No, and specifically, you know, people like Fincher fans, like he's made so many movies that are like about violence and serial killers, and like people expect like a certain
type of movie.
thing from him, and then he delivers Mank, and people are kind of like, just like, what the fuck is this? You know,
right.
No one's getting sodomized.
Yeah.
Where is this David Fincher sodomy?
Oh God, what is he thinking?
Bono, am I crazy, or did nobody get sodomized in Mank? Like, what do you think?
Did you see the background scene? Was there anything I missed?
Let's sit down. Let's talk about it.
Let's watch it frame by frame and see.
Look for sodomy. I want you to really be looking out for sodomy, okay, guy?
Get in the mind of Fincher and think sodomy.
There's got to be sodomy in there. I know it's in there. We just have to find it. We have to seek it out.
See, and
Fincher's a master.
Disguises his sodomy very well.
At first, you know, he'd put sodomy on the table, like, you know, for breakfast. Sodomy for breakfast.
Times are changing. It's got to be a little more subtle now. You know?
Yeah. Mank in 2020, the COVID film. He does that show, Love, Death, and Robots. Did you ever watch it?
I didn't, no.
I think I started to. I watched an episode or two. I don't know if I watched the episode he directed. But they're kind of interesting. Finally, fucking says he's going to do The Killer. 3 years in between this and Mank. Apparently, he'd been trying to do this movie since, like, I don't know if it was after Benjamin Button or something in, like, 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to do it with Pitt. He asks Pitt to do it. I guess this movie's based on a graphic novel. And David Fincher really liked it, and he always wanted to make a movie about it. So he goes up to Brad Pitt, and he's like, let's do this. And Brad Pitt is like, too dark. I'm not looking to do something like that right now.
Right.
Which is like, bitch, like, you did 7. You know?
Right. It's the ultimate dark dude.
Yeah. But he's like, no, I don't want to do it. So when Pitt says no, Fincher puts it in the back burner, and I guess
Because there's no one else.
Yeah.
Who else do you get
he
to do
doesn't
it?
think about it for a while. He goes on, does The Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, calls fucking the diddler himself, Kevin Spacey, and starts House of Cards. David Fincher is also, in a way, responsible for the shows on Netflix and movies on Netflix, because he did the first show on Netflix, House of Cards.
Right.
With the diddler. He brought that shit to the mainstream. He
Right.
put a fucking diddler on the screen.
Yeah. Fincher, are you involved, buddy? Huh? It sounds like he's
What are you
involved.
hiding?
Sodomy?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Not looking good there, Finch.
After that, you start getting your shows on Netflix, and now, so he does Gone Girl. After that, 1 year later, and then after that, he's a Netflix guy for the rest of his career.
Right.
One of the greatest working directors we have, and we may never see another movie of his in the movie theater. Like, I don't know how I fucking feel about that, and I don't know why he's so happy to just be making movies for Netflix when the movies he makes are like meant to be seen in the big screen theatrically. Like, that's where I want to watch The Killer.
Right.
That fucking scooter chase scene would have been fucking amazing in the
And in the fucking electric vest. But look, man.
dude.
Oh, man.
Dude, look, he made a fucking fucking scooter chase, like,
Look
fucking,
decent.
fucking, like, I was on the edge of my seat, being like, this movie's genius into, like, when you're in there's points where you're in his head.
Right.
They show that when he's listening to music.
Right.
When you hear the music loud or whatever, you're in his head.
Right.
When you're outside and you can hear that he's listening to it on his headphones or whatever, that's when you're seeing, like,
Right.
the outside world or whatever.
Right,
So you're
right,
like, there, you could see that from the movie. You're in his head and you're out of his head. You're with him in his brain, and then you're watching him.
Right.
So during that scooter's chase scene, there's no one chasing him.
Right.
But he's so fucking ramped up. In his mind, the cops are on his fucking ass.
Right.
And that's what makes that fucking scene so fucking good. Like, he's hauling ass like, you know, they're about to fucking catch him, but nobody's after him.
No.
Him getting away after the first botched hit
Yeah.
is really fucking exhilarating to watch for me.
Look, man, I think the sodomy was going to come in. It was going to come and play in that scene because that dude was about to get pegged.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Easy.
That was, he was like, do I want to watch that?
No.
Not really. Not down today. I'm in full zen. My heart beats right. I don't need to watch that. So then you're right. The multi-layered perspective of watching him narrating to you, and then headphone him / point of view. I did like that when he goes to unlock the thing and it doesn't, and he pulls on the lock and you get that POV, and then he finally scans and you're like, all right, get out of here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too keen on like old timey spy films or anything like, but I assume that's what it's kind of like paying tribute to, where it's like he's so slick, like everything is thought out. The garbage truck was gonna be there. He knew it was gonna be there. He runs straight to it. Like, I feel like it all plays into who this person is, this meticulous, flawless being of a fucking assassin that every angle is covered. You know what I mean?
But it's not. Well, that's the thing. It starts that way. When the movie starts,
That's what I mean for the start.
It's like, you don't know if he was literally the greatest assassin of all time up until that second.
Right.
Because he says he's undefeated.
Right.
He's killed everybody.
Yeah.
He's never missed. And he even brags about it. I can't remember what the count is. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I want to say it was high. Maybe not up to 100, but up there.
And you believe him. You believe him because he's a Zen dude.
He's just sitting. He's in this building that they're maybe like renovating or some shit, and he's in an empty room right across the fucking window of the guy he's gonna kill, and he's just waiting for him to get there. And he talks about how like boring his job is.
Right.
And it's just like, this job isn't as exciting as
Well, this
some
is also
people might
paid
think.
tribute to it too, because we had breakfast before coming in here, and what did he have?
Yeah,
he had,
a
McDonald's.
Mickey D's
Yeah,
breakfast.
Of course,
You're right. We did pay.
it was all for you, Finch, the bastard.
And I think also Finchy, my man here, is also saying something about consumerism again, kind of like Fight Club. I think this is kind of a good Fight Club companion movie. It's saying some of the same things, like about, I think, like that whole McDonald's thing.
Right.
And speaking about the world too, like how technology is kind of, it's kind of fucking us over into a way that we haven't even realized.
Right.
Where this guy can easily fucking kill somebody, get to somebody that's supposed to be ungettable,
Right.
by very easily going to Amazon and just buying something.
Bezos, dude.
And then you can, like, after, I haven't tried it, I don't want to be on a list, but I've heard people say, like, on other shows and stuff, that they literally Googled, I mean, they put that into Amazon, the key fob copier into Amazon to see if you can just buy one of those, and you can.
Yeah.
And so it would be very easy to just, if the world progresses to not using an actual key, just a fucking
Static
key
ID,
card or whatever that just unlocks something, like, no one's fucking safe, bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, they do that. It's all on the fucking web anyways. Some third-party server that could be able to put that out. It's somewhere. You can find that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But it's very good. I just love it. That first scene, he's basically walking you through everything. He's like, you just got to sit here. He's just waiting. He has his watch. Does he, like, not sleep?
He sleeps, but he needs to get his heart rate to a certain level before he does that.
Yeah. But I feel like he's waiting. That guy could, when it's time for him to go to sleep, that guy could show up at any time.
Right.
So I feel like he goes to sleep, but has an alarm for, like, every minute.
Really?
So he's not consistent. He's, like, sleeping for less than a minute at a time.
I might have missed that detail.
I think that's what's going on, because he's saying, like, is this like what kind of life is this, right? Like, is it worth it? It's just like, well, like, he really can't sleep, which is, he's kind of torturing himself, because this guy can get home at any second. So he has an alarm on his watch at all times. So he's laying there trying to sleep. Alarm goes off. I don't know if it's every minute, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. But the point is, he has to keep wait. All he does is open his eyes, look at the window. If the lights aren't on, then he goes back to sleep.
Right.
Until the alarm goes off again. And you don't know if he's actually sleeping or not, right? Like, can you be sleeping if you're doing something like that?
Right.
But that's when you're seeing the kind of commitment that this guy has to the job.
Right. But body fatigue is real. And I think that's where the slip ups
And homie starts doing yoga and shit. You can tell this motherfucker's in shape.
You know what? That's what I mean. He looks good.
Dude.
I can't stretch like that to save my life.
Imagine, dude, I saw that and I was like, I should do yoga. I was like, why don't I do yoga?
And Fincher is also pushing yoga. You can see it.
I mean,
I'm in.
The signs are there, dude.
If someone's gonna show him, he's gonna be Fassbender. He's gonna do it great. We just figured out he's 46. All right, Electro told us himself.
Yeah, I did the math.
and yeah, I mean, you gotta keep some form of fucking lifestyle, right? Because he says that too. He's like, the common person can't do this.
Yeah,
like, this isn't a life that you want, but this is what I put myself through to make this shit happen.
Because everything's perfect. He says he has the perfect record, and he's all like, all these kills, and he says, oh, except for one, I can't take credit for it because the guy had a heart attack before I killed him.
Right.
And he's just like, he said, it has that funny line, like, this is the first time that, like, red meat and like high blood pressure did the job for me or something.
Right.
So he couldn't take credit for that one. But other than that, supposedly, as to what he's saying to us, he's the perfect fucking killer. He's the killer.
Right.
He's the Bono.
What'd you think about that title?
The killer.
Yeah.
I like it.
The down eye with
It took me a while to figure out that's what it was, to be honest. I was like, what is, like, the eye? I see the bullet hole. Like,
right.
Like, I see the top of the eye, but where's the other eye? It took me a while to be like, oh, he killed the eye. The eye's dead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to figure that one out.
Right.
And then everything he's doing, you're seeing him do his yoga. You're seeing him do his heart rate thing. The guy finally gets there, and he's just like, I will not take the shot unless my heart rate's like, what does it say, like under 60 or some shit?
62 or some bullshit.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had
That's
such
a calm
low.
man. That's a calm man, dude. That is zen as fuck.
So he has the opportunity to take the shot, like, several times,
yeah.
but doesn't do it because he's waiting for his heart rate to drop.
Exactly. Or, he's like, if the sodomy happens, it's going to go up.
It's going to go right up.
It's just for nothing. I have to wait again.
Yeah, he sees a fucking hottie in latex. He's like, this heart rate's going up. I need to execute now.
Christ, Jesus Christ.
So he fucking misses. He shoots the fucking dominatrix.
Yeah.
He takes that breath like, okay, perfect shot. And then he shoots, and then the chick gets in the way right at the last second.
He had a mag, right? It was a magazine. It wasn't a bolt.
Yeah, I believe so.
Why not just double tap the bitch?
I thought he was, and I think he has about a second to do it.
Right.
But he has like a code about it. So the smart thing to do is to just bail immediately, to not try to keep killing him. If he wants to leave, he needs to do it now.
That second can cost him.
Yeah. And like we already talked about the scooter chasing, like it's perfect. And then he says when he misses, like, that was weird, or not after he misses, but after he gets out of there, he puts on his helmet.
Is new. He says this is new.
Yeah, he puts on his helmet. He throws away, because he had like papers and plans. He throws all of that away. He slowly gets rid of everything. He thinks the cops are chasing him. He goes to a bathroom, fucking like
shaves,
completely disinfects, washes himself, changes his clothes, and then goes to the airport. He has like this spray too that like kills DNA.
Yeah. I did like that, the explanation of like the powder residue from the weapon.
Yeah.
Like all that shit goes into play, because then when he gets to the airport, they have the sniffing dog. They got the pup there waiting for any evildoer. And you see him just kind of freak out in his mind and be like, fuck, like this is how I'm going to count. Fuck that. I'm going to go wash my hands and wash
one more time.
Yeah, just to be safe.
And I love that part of him being so paranoid. Like me, as I was watching it, I'm ramped up too, being like, oh fuck, like, is he gonna get caught? Or like, you start thinking about the ways he can get caught, and you're like, this is so meticulous. Like, he's taken way more steps than I would probably think to take, obviously.
Right.
He has his gun with him, sprays it down, throws it in the trash. Like, he's free of everything, but he's still just, he doesn't trust anything. He doesn't trust anyone. When he finally gets on the plane, like, he sees this dude and he's like, wait, is this dude following me?
Right.
And instead of leaving, now he fucking goes
and
to...
figures out who the fuck he is.
He goes to he gets a room. He doesn't leave right away. And he orders room service. He gets a fucking cup and a pan or whatever and sets up like a little noise trap. And then just sleeps on the sofa with a knife in his hand. Mm-hmm. This is how careful this guy is.
Right.
So I love how the movie's basically showing you how he's so good, so perfect, how he thinks about everything.
Right.
Yet nothing goes his fucking way ever.
Right.
And he improvises pretty good and keeps telling himself, like, what is his little mantra? Like, stick to the plan. Like, don't improvise.
Don't improvise.
He says, don't improvise, like, anticipate or some shit that. It's just interesting being in his head where he's telling you things so matter-of-factly, and then they don't go his way. And you think you're seeing him plan everything out, but then the plan doesn't work. Like, you don't know if he was always a bad fucking killer and he's just lying to us the whole fucking time, or he was the perfect killer up until that moment, and now he's like kind of losing it and unraveling or some shit. But anyways, he botches the job, and he has like a handler, this fucking guy, and he calls him and he's just like, you fucked up. And then so whatever, he throws his phone away and he goes back home, and then guess what? They fucking roughed up. They there might come the sodomy, my
you know what? You're right, because that guy does mention shit.
They don't say nothing specific. She got roughed up.
It's implied sodomy. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Because the guy's like, oh, I can't tell you what they did to me because it was so evil or some bullshit like that, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, because when he shows up to the hospital, the guy's there. He's like, you shouldn't be here. They fucking did this. My sister, your fucking wife or whatever. And he's like, well,
I don't know if they were married.
Or whatever.
He doesn't tell her his boo thing. He was just saying, like, they were looking for you, bro. Like, this happened because he's like, I don't fucking know you that well or whatever. Like, she fucking loves you, but you fucking did this. Like, they were looking for you.
That's when he says it, though. That's when he's like, hey, she was able to talk to me, and what she said was like, I can't tell you what they did to me because it was so vile or some shit like that. So I think you're right.
Might be a little son, but
we need to look at Fincher's notes. Look at his notes for that one.
Yeah. So he questions his bitch. She's like, "What happened?" or whatever. And so she tells him that they were in a taxi, right? Does she tell him that?
The guy tells him. He's like,
the guy.
It's like, oh, it's some dude in a taxi. Can you believe that? It had the sign on top and everything.
He said it was a green taxi. So then he's like, okay, cool. That's the thing. Like, all of his planning and the way to get to people is like pretty flawless and shit.
Yeah.
So he goes to the airport. He goes to places where he sees taxis. He can't find the right color. Finally, he finds the green taxi. Finds out where their fucking headquarters are and shit.
Finds out who is the one who was in the area.
Yeah, he goes. He breaks into the fucking taxi place. He sees who was there. Finds out who it was, fucking stalks him, waits for him. He gets the cab. I don't know. I think all of that shit is fucking
I think it's dope. And again, yeah, it shows like the hitman style of shit. Like do anything but like in a sophisticated way, like a really drawn out, thought out. It's not as animalistic as just going up into the taxi place and shooting up the fucking place, right? You don't have to do that.
He doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't have to.
Right.
Like, he didn't kill the guy that owned the taxi place.
Right.
And I think he didn't do it because he didn't really see his face.
Right.
He had a mask on. He tied him up, made him face the other way.
Right.
And then when he finds out the information, he kind of trashes the place a little bit to make it look like, you know, somebody probably just broke in for money or something. And then he dips. He doesn't fucking kill the guy.
Right.
But then he is completely relentless when it comes to the cab driver. Even though the cab driver it wasn't his fault.
I like that. I did like that.
But you see the ruthlessness of him, where he really does have no sympathy or empathy.
Right.
Even though this guy, you know, you could say like, you know what? Like, dude, I picked up these people. Mm-hmm. They told me to take them there. He says he waited for maybe an hour or something. Mm-hmm. And that he was about to leave them, and then they come back. One of them was fucking stabbed or wounded, and then they took off, and that was it. So it wasn't really like this dude was just a cab driver, right? Come on, they made a whole movie about this.
Knows too much though, and saw his face. You can't let him go,
right?
Mm-hmm. But see, I think that was also part of the rush job, because it seemed like he was just trying to get in and out for that cab place, right? Because he does do the staging shit. He ties him up. He could have easily killed the fucking man and then do this. I did like it hasn't never crossed my mind because I haven't thought about killing anyone. But the fact that he has the cab driver drive him to where he stashed his car. I was just like, God damn it.
It's fucking great.
It's so good because you don't have to worry about shit after that. You're so calm. You're already there.
Yeah, he's telling him exactly where to go. He's like, pull in here, go in here. He gets the information he needs, finds out that one of them, he describes her as a Q-tip, you know, and that the other dude was like fucking big.
It's me, Q-tip.
No, Whitey.
Whitey, sorry.
Come on. It'll be myself and I. So he finds out what the people look like. Okay, cool.
Right.
So now he ices the fucking...
I was surprised when that happened too. because I was like, he's gonna let this.
You think he's gonna let him go, right? He gives him all the information he wanted. The guy's basically like, dude, like I didn't know what they were gonna do. They took me there, whatever. Just let me walk out of here. I won't say fucking shit, dude. Like, just let me go.
Right.
And then he's about to light a cigarette, right? He's like, fuck, like what a boom! He just fucking kills him, bro. Yeah. Killer. The killer. And then he's like, all right, next order of business, he needs to get to his handler.
Right.
To find out who these people were that sodomized his bitch. Because that's no good for the killer.
Right.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but he goes right after that to send the FedEx package.
Okay.
I didn't know that was him sending the package so he could follow the FedEx guy into the fucking building.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, see, that's how you're a fucking killer, bro.
Well, it plays into two of those, right? It's like it plays into the FedEx thing, and then it plays into the Postmates or Grubhub, whatever he was using, to show like to the modern day access that these individuals have because of technology or because of a delivery type service. To be like, hey, this is how I'm gonna get in, and no one's gonna bat an eye.
Exactly. So he knows. So he goes to Home Depot. Gets a bunch of Mexicans. Gets a bunch of Mexicans to load stuff in his truck.
He likes the deal. Good deal.
He gets a curbside. He gets a fucking big like recycling bin. Trash bin, a nail gun, and a couple of other things. And we start getting into a little bit of John Wick territory here. Essentially, they have some of the same scenes. Like he digs up his guns, same way as John Wick does. He has his safe house. He says how he has 6 of them in the world. He can hit at any time. And he has basically everything he needs in there. Passports, money, IDs, whatever. You name it. Fucking license plates. He rents a truck. He, like I say, he does the FedEx thing, and then the chick asks him, like, do you want to pay for, like, overnight? And he's like, nope, standard, because I need time to fucking get all my shit together and fucking get a fucking uniform. So he goes in dressed like a paper shredder type thing. Or like waste person that's going to go in, like janitor or garbage man.
It's
whatever.
the shredders, bro. I know it's like...
The shredder?
Shredders, yeah. They take your important documents and say that they will properly dispose of it with like either set on fire or shred it, that type of shit.
Right.
So that's how he gets in as that service person. That's why they wouldn't bat an eye to be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. So he literally sits there and waits for the FedEx guy to arrive. He already knows the system that they have. This guy uses a really old school, like 1980s, like locked door. You got to fucking push the button, you know? So he waits for the FedEx driver, goes in right after him. Obviously, the FedEx driver doesn't even think about it. He just leaves the door open for him. Right. He already knows the lady. He's like, Doris. There's Doris and shit, the fucking secretary. He times out the door. That's pretty cool.
Timing, yep.
He pretends like he's drinking water from the water fountain. He sees how long it takes for the door to close. It's one of those like slow closing.
Hydraulic.
Yeah. He sees that he has about 8 or 9 seconds. So when the FedEx guy leaves and gets to the elevator, that's kind of a little bullshit. Like, it'd probably take longer for somebody to get on an elevator than 8 to 10 seconds.
It depends on the building, right? I mean, depends on how much traffic you have, but whatever. I'll give it to him.
He got in.
Yeah. Last second, too, just saying.
He gets in, and his handler, who's like, I don't know, he's a lawyer or what?
I believe it was the scene transition was the lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
But he's obviously the guy.
Which makes sense with the recycling documents.
He's obviously the guy that gives him the contracts or the hits or whatever, and he has all the information.
Right.
So he gets in there and gets his laptop and his phone. Basically, he nails them to the desk, and he's like, give me the names, bitch. Zip ties him. And the guy, did you recognize the guy? He's from Top Gun, Maverick. Yeah. So that guy's like, really? You fucking showed up here? You must be fucking out of your mind dumb, and I can't believe that you're doing this.
Right.
But the guy's like, whatever, just give me the names. And he's like, I can't, I don't have them. You just destroyed them.
Right.
And so he gets the nail gun, and he fucking throws 3 nails in the middle of his chest.
Yeah.
And then that's where you see again, like, his perfectly thought out plan. He's like in the middle of telling you, oh yeah, like average male about this many pounds. He should have about 6 minutes before he drops. And he just dies in the middle of that sentence. Right. And then he's just fuck.
Shit.
He literally tells himself, don't improvise, stick to the plan. But he's constantly improvising and actually doing a pretty good job.
Good at it for improv. Hey.
So the secretary, she gets it pretty good. I like the whole secretary thing.
Yeah.
Takes her to her house. Well, she basically tells him, I can get you the fucking names you want.
Right.
I'm not going to beg you. All I want is for you to make it look normal.
Right.
So that my kids can get the insurance. Just don't disappear me.
Right.
She's like, I know who you are, dude. I know that you could just make me disappear and
that's it.
My family's going to get no money. So just let them find me. Make it look normal. Fassbender's so good because he's like not
responding.
Speaking.
Yeah, he's not responding
he
to
hardly,
it.
other than his inner dialogue.
Yeah,
he doesn't fucking say anything. He just fucking stares.
I really like that. I really like that David-esque style.
Yeah,
almost robotic fucking killing machine.
He's a
vibe.
killer.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, bro.
Yeah.
He's just trying to fucking kill.
He can't help himself. He needs information, but ultimately,
yeah. So this chick's basically saying like, I'm not gonna beg you, but is kind of begging.
Yeah,
and there's just nothing.
You get nothing
his
from
eyes.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know if he's buying what she's selling,
right?
Feeling bad for her or not.
Well, I mean, you know what? Fassbender also played a very compelling Nazi. So you believe the dead eyes from the get.
He wasn't a Nazi, though. He was impersonating a Nazi.
That's what I mean, though. Like, he did it so well.
Right.
You're like, there's no question about it. He's up there. He's a fucking he's an admiral. This guy's genius right here.
Yeah.
So you don't question that.
Yeah.
You believe it wholeheartedly that he is a killer.
And it's weird because...
And she knows it. I like that she knows it. And she's like, I guess I am begging. She kind of starts crying a little bit. It's like, yeah, you're not. There's no way out.
Well, the thing is, it's an interesting... She's begging in an interesting way. She's not begging for him to let her live. She knows she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, she already knows. I already saw you. This guy's here.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Right.
Like, just fucking... give me a little bit of leeway. And he does.
It's not a bad out, to be honest.
He does because she basically gives him everything he wants. And I really like the codes and shit, like how the names are hidden. Like it's all by the date and the letter and stuff. And it's all in a Rolodex.
Right.
That's tight.
That was cool.
I mean, I hope that's how it is. Well, I hope that these contract killers are out there.
And I think that's what like the whole point of this movie was, that it's that old timey, sexy spy killer. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah, of course. It's Fassbender, of course. But I think it's paying tribute to that rather than these new style of tech savvy whatever there is today, right? This super technology heavy super spy that could just come in guns blazing. Yeah. It's really more of like
James Bond.
Yeah, no time for that. Just old school assassin.
Yeah.
No connections to nothing, no agency. He says it himself, right? I'm no flag. I wave no flag.
Yeah, he doesn't care what side he's on.
Yeah, or who it affects. Here for the money.
Yeah.
Do my thing.
Yeah.
Which is dope because that's like the killer.
The killer. Yeah.
The killer side.
The killer.
Fincher knew all angles are answered with, he's a killer.
The killer.
He's a cop killer.
He's a cop killer.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me my fucking phone call.
Yeah. He could have been RoboCop too.
He almost was, dude.
Really?
There was a point where he was like the front runner for RoboCop for the remake. He would have been a fucking excellent RoboCop. They can still do. You guys can still do it. Come on,
please.
He's not old. He's still a killer. He still got it, bro.
You can move.
Alex Murphy, can we do it? Please.
Nope.
Anyway, so he gets all the information from her. And then as she's going down the steps in her house, he just snaps her neck.
Really dope. I was not expecting that.
I know.
At least a kick, Sparta kick in the back. That'll kill someone.
Wait, it might not kill them though.
No, I know, but like she's flying off stairs. Like for sure her neck's gonna crack at the bottom.
Maybe.
Well, I guess you're right.
And so everything else cracks. And she's like,
powerful neck crack, bro. That just shows you how easy you can kill someone.
And
honestly.
she's like in the middle of a sentence too.
Yeah.
The thing is, he puts out so little emotion that she literally doesn't know when it's coming. We don't know when it's coming. Same thing with the taxi driver.
Right.
He kind of like
waits for that moment.
When they're not expecting it.
Yeah.
They're expecting it for so long. They're like so tense. Like he waits for a moment of them to be kind of like relax a little bit. And that's when he fucking strikes like a cobra.
Yeah. Don't sleep on the cobra. It'll still kill you, bruh.
So anyways, he's got the name of the 2 hitmen.
Yeah.
And this movie's also has like, is set like in chapters, like 5 chapters.
Yeah.
And so now the next chapter is the brute. So he finds out that one of them was just like this big fucking Samoan guy or something. Was he Samoan?
Yeah, Floridian.
He looks Samoan. Hawaiian?
Maybe.
He looks like an islander.
Islander. Tropical dude.
Yeah. And so it looks like he's in the wrong crowd. A lot of Mexicans around him.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
The wrong crowd.
He's hanging around with the cartels. And shit.
Right.
Like,
he's got a pit. He's got,
Yeah. He probably was listening to Pitbull in the car. I don't know.
In his 1998 Caprice.
Yeah. So the fucking homies, they come. They're like, let's go to the strip club, yo.
Yeah.
So fucking Fassbender's taking them out. Anytime I ever think about something like this, right? Like, let's say we were hitmen.
Right.
I'd always be so scared that if I was following somebody, that I would be way too obvious. This guy's just parked outside people's houses for a lot of this movie, just staking them out. Do you think people are that oblivious, or would you notice that there's a car that's just kind of always there, that's been watching you?
You know what, man? More recently than not, it's kind of been a thing too.
We also watched.
No, well, not just that, but getting like a camera system, right? Like before that, I know you guys have one too, but you're oblivious to what's going on during that time. And not too long ago, we had someone who came into our yard who I confronted personally, and was just kind of thrown off. But it was like at 3 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, and literally like on the corner of my garage. Like I come out the back door to go to the car to get something because we had arrived late, and I go back and there is a person standing there, bro, just standing there.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, what are you doing here? And she wanted to play it was a girl, she wanted to play the I don't speak English thing, and I wasn't gonna speak to her in Spanish either. I kept pushing it, and she like understood what I was saying, so I'm like, you're just acting the part now. And it was just super weird, but...
It was a woman.
Woman, yeah. And so, we told her to fuck off, and then, like, a person down the street picked them up and, like, crept through the hood. And it's kind of weird because you see that on the street all the time. And as this person was talking to me, it was kind of weird because I kind of, like, watching this movie and, like, just understanding details to shit. It's also, shout out to Tim Kennedy telling you to be aware of shit.
That's right.
But as I was talking to this person, I see this car that's pulling out. I had noticed the car pulling like parallel to the far sidewalk. So it was kind of, too obvious because, like you say, we know what cars are there. Obviously, we live in a really smaller area.
Yeah.
But like a bigger city like that or some outskirty shit where people are just going to go to, like, I'm pretty sure it's normal for people to stop. But as I was talking to this person, I see the car creeping going towards your pad, and it's like 5 miles an hour. And I'm still talking to this person, but like my peripheral's catching it. I see it turn, and then we're tall, so we can see over the fence. So I see it coming around this way, and I'm like, okay, at least I'm aware of like what's the key play here. And my girl comes out and just starts telling this bitch off, and fucking she like almost follows them over there. I'm like, first of all, it's a bad move. You don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, all this type of shit. But we called the cops, we did the thing. But then, because of these cameras, we can see what goes on at night now. And there's just always a bunch of movement. Sometimes if you just come out and I'm not paying attention, there are cars that are parked there for like a couple hours and they take off. You know,
Yeah.
it could be that little small window where there is a person watching you for an hour and you have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
And they're gone. And then they're back the next day. And I see it all the time.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, you know what's going on here? And it was weird, bro, because I felt like an extreme heightened sense of like readiness type shit. Like I was like, okay, I could probably destroy this woman right
Definitely you can, but yeah, you don't know what's waiting in the
exactly.
car.
And then I couldn't see past the fence, but I did see the car go that way. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I have a block's time, 10, 15 seconds before it comes around, or it flips it right here. And then the time I need to get inside to fucking, you know?
Yeah.
And then the cops, they were fucking dicks, man. Honestly, I got a call back from the sheriff's office and they were fucking assholes. They're like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm like,
yeah, they don't give a fuck unless you're telling them like this person is trying to fucking harm me or kill me. They won't do shit about it.
I think next time I'll just tell them like, hey, I have a gun and I'm probably gonna kill someone right now.
Yeah, don't you say that.
And I guarantee
don't say that because you're gonna fucking get shot.
But that's the thing. I'll be like, hey, you know what? They're gonna come over here and I will have to defend myself. And when they get there, I'll be like, I don't have a gun. I just fucking need you here. You fucking idiot. That's what you get paid for. This is why they charge us taxes, you fucking dickhole. I think I could go that route. And I think if it's that serious, they might make a thing. Because again, bro, like, is that split second shit. It's like looking at movies like this that are smart. That is the most extreme outlook of a fucking being to think and be methodical, to try to do some crazy shit, to understand the layout of your house, to understand all this type of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that, but at the same time, the threat is real because I didn't know if that person was alone or not.
Right.
When I walk out to the back of my pad, you know how it is, as the 2 steps and then it's there, and then I can't see to my right because I need to pass my garage wall.
Right.
And that person was literally on that corner. So I was speaking to this person behind my fence.
Right.
Because I can see, and I can see on top of the street because it's at a slope. And so when I see that, I recognize that person, like as soon as I'm like, hey, the person got startled and the car dipped, but it turned around and came the other way. So it was.
Did they pick her up and they left?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, full on. So they were together. For sure, they were trying to do some shit. The girl was speaking nonsense. And maybe, you know what, it could have been a bad situation where this person needed help, but the way that they communicated wasn't the way to fucking do it. Right? She was just like, oh, can I be here? Can I be here? Like, someone's going to pick me up right now. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Like, you're literally at my garage.
Right.
If that was the case, if you were trying to hide or you kind of wait for someone, do it across the street. There's no lights. You can you can sit on my car over there and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But you didn't even, if she was in danger, I would hide, I would knock on the door, I would do some shit to get some attention. That wasn't what this person was doing. So obviously that intention for help wasn't there. The element of like, hey, I need your help wasn't there, which could be a ploy to get into your house as well, right? Someone does that shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of that, fortunately, bro, when that shit happened, those things ran through the mind instead of just reacting, oh my God.
So in a way, I think you're trying to say that movies have saved your life.
Yes, I think at this point with this Fassbender, I like the mentality. You know what I mean? I get it, and for him to be like, oh, I don't know, it might not work.
But not just this movie. I think like we've seen so many movies of shit like that, and not only that, I know you're a big murder podcast. Like, you know, chances are these people maybe aren't gonna do anything, but you don't want it to be that Richard Ramirez that's gonna fucking come in your house and fucking eat your dick, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't think anyone wants that, really.
Nobody.
But it was trippy, and it's trippy to see that, and with this movie, it's done really...
The killer.
Really elegantly, and it gets personal. That dude...
Yeah.
It gets pretty legit.
Yeah, so at this point, he stakes out the fucking Samoan. He sees that he has a pit bull, and he goes and buys like 20 bottles of sleeping pills, which I was also thinking about that. If you go into a fucking Walmart, or I don't know what he goes into, and you buy 2 packs of ground beef and a bunch of sleeping pills, are you supposed to alert somebody? Like, hey, this guy's gonna do something, you know?
That's why you play it off when you go to Costco. You get the big bulk stuff, and
you're right, I guess.
He has multiple identities.
Because he buys like a bunch of bottles of aspirin and 2 packs of ground beef. It's like, Like, what are you doing?
I think it was Florida, so it's weird enough. And they were like, okay, it's fine.
A lot of gators.
Yeah, these people are nuts out here.
I like also how his costume or his disguise or whatever, he says he models himself after a German tourist.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one time he saw this guy and he's just like, nobody wants to talk to that guy. So that's
To
what
the German.
That's what he models himself after. So that literally makes himself the least approachable person.
Yeah. And you know what? There's some truth to that, bro. Funny enough, one of the homies I went with to Spain, Ace, shout out to Ace. He wears these puffy jackets. He's from Salas. He has a thing, you know, he looks a little cholo-esque. No one would bat an eye. First of all, I'm tall as fuck, and this fool looks like an OG. No one's looking. They're like, these guys are up to no good. Which, honestly, we were just sightseeing. We're just having a good time.
We were bird watching.
Straight up. There was a point where we were bird watching.
We were very enthused.
By the local.
Birds are blossoming.
Oh, my God.
Gorgeous country.
But it's true. It's very true.
Anyways, so he's like over here saying like, oh, your average pit bull weighs this.
Right.
They should put him down for this much. Everything he's saying like makes sense, and you're like, oh, he's very calculated. He knows exactly what he's doing, but he fucks it up.
Miscalculated.
He throws like 3 things. The dog's not even paying attention to them at first, and then finally the dog goes to sleep. He has to wait there for who knows how long. Goes in to fucking give the Samoan what's what. Really great scene. You know, he's trying to be so careful, but this guy has one of those doors that as soon as you open it, it like beeps twice.
Right.
Like,
Sensor.
that's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's going through like every door. Super tense. I really like it. It sounds like he's in the shower, right? So this guy was also aware that this guy was staking him out.
Right.
You know, like we were saying right now, like that car's been parked there for a long fucking time. I'm waiting for the son of a bitch to come into the fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds like he has the shower on, but this guy didn't just come out of the shower, right?
No.
So he had on the shower, waiting for this guy to come in. Obviously, Fassbender's going towards the bathroom, but the homeboy's not in the fucking bathroom.
Right,
He's
right,
already ready to fucking rush him.
Right.
And there's this fucking giant fucking Samoan,
Big
and
dude.
Fassbender, I mean, he's not a small guy, but come on now. There's a part where he like uppercuts Fassbender, and Fassbender just looks like, oh fuck.
Sure hurt.
So they have a great fight scene. They fucking tear this house apart. He fucking hits him with a bong, of course.
Yo.
The bong of death, bro.
A little signaling there, Fincher.
Come on, man.
Take it easy,
Saying
bro.
drugs are bad.
Wow. I didn't know this was a Christian film.
And tell me that this movie didn't make you go "Ugh," when he fucking falls on the fucking chair.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, is that what was going on?
Oh, Bono.
Yeah,
We
right.
thought there was no sodomy.
You're
Going
right,
through it,
you're
we
right.
have found 2
We
counts.
found it.
One of deep, penetrative, anal tissue ripping.
Everything.
Fucking, dude.
like tissue paper. Like
That hurt me when I watched it. Because,
it's not
like,
good.
I don't remember what happens. They like tackle each other or something. And he, like, the table breaks, and the way he falls, like the chair falls over,
Right.
or is it a table leg? It might be a table leg.
It might be the leg of the table, yeah.
Yeah, so the table was flipped upside down, and then they like shove each other, and this guy falls his anus first.
Yeah.
His anus was just fucking spread, ready to be fucking sodomized by this table.
Not good.
And you see that he falls on top of it, and it doesn't break. He's just like on it.
Yeah.
But you can see he went down it pretty well.
Yeah.
So you know that thing didn't just like go up his ass. It like went up.
Yeah.
And then finally it breaks and he falls over and pulls it out. It's like, oh my God. And then the killer runs and hides in the bathroom.
Right.
And the Samoan still, because he's just fucking giant roided up fuck, right? He's running on
yacked out of his mind.
He's running on adrenaline too. He probably still isn't even feeling
it,
what's
yeah.
happening. But he's going down the hall with the gun looking for Fassbender, and then you see the amount of blood that's on his dick too. So that means like that shit probably went all the way through. And then he notices it. Like he looks down and he feels his dick and he sees all the blood in his hand and he's like, fuck,
This is it, yeah.
But he's still on his mission. That he's still trying to kill this guy.
Like a true killer.
When you see the blood on his crotch and he touches it, I was like, oh my God. Like, that's so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
Anyways, the killer does his deed.
Yeah, it does the thing.
The Samoan goes down.
Yeah. But the pit wakes up.
Oh, yeah.
So his calculation was wrong there.
What was the pit's name? It had like a distinguishable fucking name.
I don't recall.
Fuck. But times out perfect. Breaks right through the fucking window like fucking...
Like a fucking velociraptor.
He runs out just in time.
Right.
And, escapes. And you see him walking back to his car, like, just like fucked up.
The face is battered.
Yeah, he just got his ass handed to him by a Samoan ass whooping for about 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. Which then shows you like the human element to the guy too, because you can see him like visually be like, oh fuck, like that kind of fucked me up, but at the same time still like a robotic killer.
Yeah. His mistakes are getting bigger and bigger. First one, he misses the shot, gets out pretty clean.
Yeah, very clean.
Second one, he still gets out clean, but he goes and he accidentally kills the guy like immediately before he's able to question him.
Right,
and has to go about it in a different way, longer way. This one, he completely messes up.
Yeah.
The dog didn't sleep as long as it needed to, and the dude was straight up waiting for him. Right. Now he has to go find the other person. The chapter calls it the professional, I think.
The expert.
The expert. Again, just fucking chilling outside her house. And you would think a fucking hitman would be notice of a car. Well, I guess the Samoan might have.
Right.
But not the Q-tip. Tilda Swinton, she's fucking fantastic. She's a great actress.
Right.
I think she's fucking fantastic in the little amount of screen time she gets in this movie.
Really elegant, very poised. Really cool stuff.
And he's kind of thrown off by where she lives. He's like, like this is weird. She lives like in a suburban neighborhood, kind of like she's part
in
of
the mix.
She's part of her community.
Right. Plain sight type shit.
So he's kind of confused by that. So he's like following her around. She goes to this restaurant where she's treated like fucking royalty. She has her own table. They just bring her out food that like she doesn't even ask for.
Right.
They already know what kind of drink she wants. Bring out my bottle.
I really like that. It's funny. We were watching that scene last night. And the fact that like it's a dining experience for that person was like, hey, I'm here to participate in whatever the culture is here. And that whiskey bottle that she had, that Borna, we looked it up immediately because when they put it down and she asked for her bottle, I assumed that she bought the bottle. They have it there just for her. So when they bring it out, they do a really good job of doing like a label placement. So they force you to look at this bottle, right? And they tilt it towards you when she gets her flight. And we looked up that bottle and it's 45 grand.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then they have like a little trio thing of like double shooters that's like 36,000 and it comes like in this box sort of with that same arch fucking thing.
Damn.
And the cheapest one that we found was like a 1981 fucking whiskey that they had in a shot form for $350. I was like, what the fuck? And this bitch just took him down like no problem, right?
Well, yeah. I really love this scene. So he's kind of watching her, and it's interesting because, again, in this one, he just decides, fuck it, I'm going to go in. You're wondering how he's going to go about killing her. And he just decides that he's just going to go right into the restaurant where she is.
Right. And
sit down with her.
Right.
And it's a great fucking scene. I really fucking like it. Sort of reminds you a little bit of like Inglourious Bastards or something when they're sitting at the table and they're like, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen to everybody else in this room? Right, you know that you and me are fucking dead.
Right. Same type gun under the table type shit.
Yeah, and I love it she has her back to the door that he comes in, so she doesn't see him coming.
Right.
So he comes right behind her, and she has her purse, like, or I don't know if it's a purse or a napkin, but she had her gun on the table.
Right.
And so he knows that it's there. He goes right for before she even sees him.
Right.
He reaches for her gun, and she's kind of like, what? And then looks and then sees him, and then she's like, oh, fuck. Like, she knows who he is.
Right.
This man has a reputation.
Right. As much as she does.
Yeah. And then just sits down in front of her. She knows that he has her gun. She's gunless.
Right.
And I just love it because she's kind of like, fuck, like, all right, have some of this food. You know, the chef just brings it out for me. Like, whatever he thinks I might like, he just brings out.
It's the best of the best type shit.
Yeah. It's like, you're not going to find anything better. I don't even think he speaks.
No, he doesn't speak at all.
He's just staring at her, which is so fucking awesome.
It's really trippy, too, because when she's engaged to him, he has that death stare. And then when the help or the waiter servers come around, he drops his gaze and, like, looks around to kind of... I assume he's scanning to see if any of these people are fucking, because he looks both left and right. And then when they leave, he's like locks in again. And she knows it because at first she offers food and she's like, bring me my bottle. And he's like, you want this? He's like, no, you're not going to join me for my last supper.
Last meal,
Doesn't say shit. Brings the bottle and she's like, oh, you're not going to indulge. Knowingly that's a really luxurious piece type shit. She's like, oh, fuck it. Give me my shit. And he takes the last shot from her. He's like, I will take this 45K drink, bitch. Thanks for the purchase.
Yeah. She offers him the food, and she's just like, "Why aren't you having it?" And it's like, "Do you think that it's like poisoned or whatever?
Right.
Do you think it's tainted?" But the thing is, like, she keeps doing all of the talking, and he's just staring at her. So it's a really interesting way of seeing a person, much like the secretary before, kind of realize that they're dead and their mental process in their last fucking moments or whatever. So she's just like, do you mind if I have a last drink before you fucking kill me? And she's like, and by drink, I mean, I'm getting fucking drunk. Like, you're about to kill me.
Which, okay, you know, if you look at the thing through Fassbender's eyes there, you see, like, what she's saying isn't wrong. She's like, well, she hadn't touched the food. The food was complete there. You know, it could be a thing where maybe she was prepping for that situation where, because like how she said, she's like, I've always had my guard up. I've always been this. But my flaw today is thinking that this will never happen to me because I am that careful.
Yeah.
Just like how he is. For sure, if I was him or if I was that elite of an assassin, I'm thinking anything everywhere is out to fucking kill me, right?
Right.
So when she's like, oh, you're not going to eat? And he's just like, bitch, you know I'm not going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I'm not going to drink. You know I'm not going to do anything to alter. That's why when he says stick to the plan, I don't necessarily think it means that he has a plan. It's like stick to your thought.
Which is, when you look at it, like a bad way to live. So now she has decided to kind of live a lavish lifestyle, which he maybe... I don't know, he's like jealous of it, which is why he goes in there. You know? And she even asked him, she's like, why did you come in here? Like, you could have killed me any fucking way you wanted.
Right.
You could have fucking poisoned me. You could have just disappeared me. I wouldn't have seen it coming.
Right.
Like, what the fuck made you just come in here and sit with me, you know?
Right.
By what he was saying, like, oh, like, it's weird that she lives in this neighborhood and she's enjoying the shit out of her life. He's like, I'm not fucking enjoying my life. I am always ready to fucking dip or kill or whatever. Get the fuck out of there.
Right.
And you're over here fucking
I mean, 45K whiskey.
Yeah.
Getting catered by this master chef here. I'm about to Johnny Depp that guy. As soon as I'm done with your ass, I'm gonna go in there and kill the chef. You know what I mean? Fuck you.
I think that's kind of like, I don't know if that's what it was. And he's just like, I want to hear, like, maybe just wanted to hear, like, what are you going to say? What is this going to say? How is she going to explain herself?
Right.
What is she going to say? How is she going to talk her way out of this? Like, I need her to know that I beat her and she's fucking dead. Like, I don't know. He's so mad or jealous or I don't know what, that he decided that she needs to know she's about to fucking die. I can't just fucking make her trip or throw her in front of a car or something.
Right.
You know?
I mean, and it's kind of that too, because it's like, okay, this person is like an outstanding person in her shit. I don't think he understands to what extent, but I think he didn't know that was an option for like people like him or him, you know? So for him to kind of come to that realization, it's like, oh, well, I don't have to fucking do that. But you fucked up because you already fucked me beforehand. But like, I feel like if he would have gotten an understanding of that earlier on, he wouldn't be as reckless as he could, where he could just kind of hang his shit and be like, yo, fuck it, I'll get a kill every once in a while, you know? I'll take care of this job, sure.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I regret being as careful, or I regret doing things a certain way just to keep up with my mental self, which kind of keeps that whole sleeping shit that you were saying earlier about him getting McDonald's, getting the proper food enough that he needs, you know, that type of shit.
The protein. He takes all the bread or whatever. He's just like, whatever. This is a bunch of protein for like a few bucks.
Yeah.
That's all my body needs.
I don't give a fuck. Sure. That's all I'll stretch this out right now.
Yeah.
And this chick is just chilling, really, really living lavish.
She's living that continental lifestyle, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. How may I be of service?
Exactly. Yeah. Eating shit with the duck fat. It's almost like the same dish from John Wick 2, but
I see that.
It makes all the difference.
You're right.
And then she's just like, all right, like, let's do it. You know, they're having their last little walk. You know what it reminded me of? Assassins. Do you remember Assassins?
Fuck. Antonio Banderas
and Sly.
Yeah, I mean, not in a lot. I don't remember the movie.
It starts with Sylvester Stallone walking a hitman to kill him that knows he's gonna die, and they're like walking in the swamp, and he's walking behind them, like he's taking him there to kill him,
right?
And he's joking around with them or whatever, and Sylvester Stallone is just being like, yeah, when he, like stone faced, right. Yeah, you're dead.
Done. Yeah.
But that guy's kind of like it's similar. So she's like walking with him, knows he's about to kill her, and then she's just like, so where are you gonna do it? Like, you know, there's a nice little spot over here or whatever, you know, kind of thinking like maybe she's thinking again like, okay, like I see a way out of this now. We're out in the open, I'm gonna distract him. And then she slips,
right?
And then
there was snow and she was drunk
and like in heels and shit.
Yeah.
And then so she's going down some steps and she slips. And when she slips, she kind of puts her hand out for him to help her. And you see him start to reach like he's going to help her, but he just fucking blasts her in the fucking head.
I love it. And as he's pulling the trigger, it says, trust no one.
Yeah. So she dies, she falls. And as soon as she falls, you can see that she had a fucking knife in her hand. So she was if he gave her the opportunity, she was looking for a way out.
Mm-hmm. Which is part of the whole assassin thing. You always have to find the situation, right?
I mean, I guarantee you, Stallone was there the whole time. He knew Banderas, the key players.
She knew that she's like, well, I could potentially have this out by getting fucked up. I could act this thing. I assume she's that aware as much as he was.
Yeah. She knows that she's probably fucked, but there is a slight chance that this guy slips and she could get out of it. Mm-hmm. And she almost if this guy wasn't as careful as he is, that probably would have worked.
Right.
But I really love how all the kind of kills, except for the fucking Samoan, it's just like he kind of lets it happen when they least fucking expect it.
Right.
Blows your fucking head off.
Yeah.
And then now the last person is the person that put out the hit.
Right.
He finds out that it's like a rich ass
crypto guy, like the new age
person, right? Like if he kills this person, it will be known. It's not gonna be as clean, you know. Right. Like people are gonna know who this person is. He's probably like a billionaire. I don't know if he's supposed to be like who's that? Like in Elon Musk, kind of not quite.
No, I would say some crypto dude. I don't know too many crypto guys' names, but I would be like some new hedge fund dude or any hedge fund guy who's in control of some shit.
Yeah,
who got in on the crypto deal.
This rich ass dude who, you know, he looks him up, and you know when you look him up, he pops up,
right.
And there's a lot about him because he's like a known person or figure. Again, we were talking earlier about how he goes about it. He finds out where he lives, so he finds out what gym he goes to, which is this like rich ass luxury.
There's a couple gyms like that. That's fucking crazy, bro.
It shows you like how this ungettable guy, how easy it is to fucking get him. All he does is he starts a 1 week trial for the gym, kind of follows him in there, gets the key fob thing to open up his locker, gets his fucking key card to get into his apartment,
Right.
and fucking gets in there. And I really like how when he's looking him up to kill him, he's just like, this is outside of my code. Like, I shouldn't go after this guy.
Right.
Because it's too high profile. And then he's just like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to do it anyways.
Just because I can, I think.
Yeah, well, he's trying to prove a point. At the end of the day, he's trying to get revenge to the people that wronged his bitch.
Right.
And it all leads down to this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And so he gets there, and then, like, the dude doesn't even know who he is. He has no idea.
No.
Like, he shows up, and he's like, do you know who I am? And he's just like, fuck, like, no.
Right.
But immediately, you know, he sees he has a gun, and he's like, all right, like, I don't know who the fuck you are, what's going on, but, like, we can work this out.
Right. And it's kind of like that thing of, like, these careless billionaires, these new wave of billionaires that are taking new money, crypto money that are, because, I mean, when you see the guy too, right, it's funny when he makes his first observation, and I didn't think about it that way, but he's like, oh, it doesn't help that he has vanity plates. You know, vanity in as a term is basically saying, like, this person's so far up their own ass.
Yeah.
Whether it could have been custom plates, he could have said specialized plates, or he said vanity. Like, this dude's so into himself, pulls out in a glorious Maybach, first of all, gorgeous fucking car. You know, we're talking about $500,000 in a vehicle, if not a quarter. And the guy looks average. You know, he has a t-shirt on, he has the fucking beanie on. He's just a regular dude who has money, who's this hedge fund operator. Again, this new money type of individual that, you know, maybe Fassbender or like these old schooly fucks who are like, oh, these new wave of fuckers, like, get the fuck away from me. Where the respect of the other people that they were killers, he's not getting it from this fucking person. And he's just like, I feel like he got turned off by that. And it's just like, fuck you. Like, you don't give a fuck. Like, it's kind of his out too, because he's telling them like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, well, he's trying to think about how he got there, who this person could be. And then I think he puts it together, right? He's like, oh, fuck. So this guy put out a hit, right? The hit that Fassbender fucks up in the beginning. And he basically says, like, okay, so you're that guy. And he says, like, okay, well, the guy, the lawyer, the dude who he killed with the nails, he called him and he's just like, Fassbender fucked up the job. And essentially, the way the lawyer looked at it or whatever is just like, as a hitman, the first time you fuck up, that's it. You're no longer a hitman. You're compromised. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
You're done. And basically, you're either you disappear, like you go, he basically tells him, like, go live your fucking life. You're fucking rich as fuck. Just leave, disappear.
Right.
But he's just like, nah, my girl got sodomized.
Right.
So no.
Or they take care of it, right? They take care of the problem. They send their fucking people to kill a fucking hitman.
So he offers this guy the insurance. So they call him and they're like, your hit was botched. Do you want to pay an extra $150,000 for insurance? Basically, the guy that we hired to do the hit, he will be killed, so this cannot be traced.
Right.
And so he was like, sure, whatever. Insurance. But he doesn't even know, like, he makes it seem like that wasn't even explained to him, right? Like, they would just ask me if I wanted insurance on what I just did. $150K, whatever. It's like, I've never done this before. This was my first hit. I was just going through the motions of how supposedly
this goes
down and shit. Like, I didn't know you. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know what they were going to do. There's nothing personal. I have zero problems with you.
Right.
And so it's very interesting that the killer decides to let this guy live.
Right.
I don't know what moral code or what that he saw that, like, this guy, like, maybe, like, since it did not matter to this guy, like, at all, he wasn't even thinking about it.
Right.
That the fact that when Michael Fassbender showed up, that he didn't already know exactly who he was and was expecting it. He knew it was coming. He wasn't like, I knew it. He was like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
This was such a non-thought in his head. Like, kind of Michael Fassbender's like, what have I even been doing?
This is what I was doing this for?
Yeah.
Like, completely let down from his meticulous fucking outlook in life for this fucking guy who could give two fucks. In fact, his concern is this building was supposed to be unbreachable. It got breached.
Yeah.
He's like, and he still says, oh, the Christmas bonuses are gonna be light this year.
Yeah.
It's like you're still gonna hand out shells because you can, right? You shell out the money, and it's like I feel like he got turned off from the fact, and then the way he carries himself and explains the shit and how he's saying it. I think for a person like that with such a high ramped up mindset of being in this killer world, in this John Wick world of crazy killers who just do that, and put him in that state where maybe that could be like his cushion too. He's like, if I need money, I'll just rob this billionaire. I'll just tell him, hey, send me this shit. You know,
this guy owes me his life.
Yeah.
This guy, he basically tells him like, now you know I can get to you.
I like that.
Whenever.
Scene. I like that part.
Like I can get you no matter what. So you're not fucking safe. Right. So if you ever fuck with me, like you're fucking dead. I
like the fact that it's like it could be quick, or I could be poisoning you, and then you'll have like this flesh rotting thing killing you slowly. It's just like, take it easy, you fucker. You had a sniper in one scene. Now you're gonna poison someone.
Yeah, which again, I don't know if that's Fincher talking about like, you know, the way people perceive his work.
Right.
You know, somebody can look at one of his movies and be like, this movie means this, or this movie's so smart. They put so much like behind, like, let's use Fight Club, obviously. Yeah. So many people fucking worship that movie, and that movie means this to them or means that to them. And at the end of the day, it's Fincher just being like, it's just a movie.
Right.
It like all this deep thought, all the things you really think that it meant.
Right.
It's really meaning. Right. So this whole fucking super smart thing or whatever you thought it was or whatever, like, yeah, at the end of the day, doesn't even fucking matter.
No.
This guy wasn't even aware.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, you're kind of on his side because we love Fassbender, of course.
Yeah.
But when you see him get there, and even you as the viewer, I was kind of turned off by that too. I'm like, that's the fucking dweeb. That's the hit guy. Like even when he came out, and I like how it gives you the classic trope of like, oh, he's not a fucking a whatever Mossad, or he's not this crazy, the driver's not Mossad, he's not this, because in his mind he's like, okay, this guy's got to be high profile, he's gonna have some killers with him.
You're expecting the
typical
expecting the bad guy from John Wick,
exactly,
in a suit with a fucking Ukrainian accent or Russian accent,
some dime piece by his side,
fucking coke everywhere. It's a dweeb with a Sub Pop shirt and a beanie. He's like in his 60s.
Yeah,
it's a guy from Mang. He was the studio lead or whatever.
Yeah. With a beanie.
Yeah, and also, of course, let's not forget he was in the Lost World Jurassic Park.
Of course,
he gets eaten by the little T-Rex.
Yeah, it's okay.
I love that guy. But it's awesome that he just kind of shows up at the end, and that's just like, he just subverts expectations as to what you would expect this guy to be. He's just like a dweeb that maybe, who knows why he put out this hit. Like they don't explain anything. Right? Well, it's your guess. Like maybe it's a competitor, right? Like he's just like, dude, this guy kind of like fucked me on a deal.
Yeah,
I got so mad I put out a hit on him. I didn't even get that mad that he didn't get killed. It was like whatever.
right And I think it takes you for that same ride because of everything that Fassbender's telling you as to like who he is, why he is, and you know his level of work, that you automatically assume that whoever purchased him is some real deal dude who needed some shit done by a fucking savage, where the guy had no fucking clue.
Some fucking hipster.
Hit up a broker and it's like, we'll send him Fassbender. Send him out there.
Yeah, so Fassbender gets this kind of new light or enlightenment about his job or his place or what he does, what it means and everything. And now at the end, it seems like he is going to try and go live a more relaxed lifestyle with this woman that he did all of this for.
Right.
They're out in some fucking who knows what country in a nice ass fucking house, fucking rich ass by the beach, fucking beautiful shit.
Yeah.
And he lays down and you're like, okay, cool. He got his revenge, whatever. He's gonna sit down and relax himself. And one of the things that they said about this movie is that you never see him blink. He never blinks until the very end of the movie. Right. And you see that this is him supposedly letting that life go, and now he's gonna live like whatever, a normal life.
Yeah.
And he blinks and he has like an eye twitch where it's just like, no, this guy can't live
Can't
a
turn it
normal
off.
life. He's a
Yeah.
fucking killer.
Yeah, and that's the start of John Wick.
John Wick.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts.
I really fucking liked this movie. I thought it was great. It reminded me a lot of American Psycho, actually, with the narration.
Okay, narration for sure.
With the narration and kind of like, him
The ego
explaining
behind
everything.
it.
Yeah, him being so matter of fact
Yeah,
about
right.
things. Also,
Oh my god.
yeah. A panic goes over my head when I see how elegant or whatever,
right.
like all this shit. And the narration sounds like eerily similar. Like
Sure,
Michael
yeah.
Fassbender and Christian Bale are both
Great
like,
voices.
are both like English actors,
Yeah.
but they do a very similar American accent.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah,
Like
okay.
I think a lot of this shit has a lot of common with that movie too, about like consumerism and stuff, like the amount of product placement and stuff, like all the stuff that the killer is using to kill people. He's using Home Depot. He's fucking using Amazon. He's using fucking Postmates. He's literally using technology and all this stuff that we use. They're basically showing us how fucking stupid and vulnerable we are
at all times. At all times.
with all these things
Advancements
that we
are
think
supposed to
makes
be.
us
Yep.
more secure, or that we use for convenience. It's like, yeah, all these things can be used against you to fucking kill you. Everybody has all of their information.
If
out
someone
there.
really wanted to, absolutely they can.
Yeah, and it's like I think a good subtle way of just being like, yeah, we're all fucking doomed here. The world's fucking, and only killers are gonna survive.
And I mean, that's what Netflix is saying. That's why they got Leo to talk about global heating. And now we got Fassbender letting you know that you're not safe at every turn.
No,
That's it.
that's the killer, man. I really fucking liked it.
It was cool. It just took a long time to get there. Even though it wasn't the longest movie, it just felt drawn like that.
I didn't feel it that way, but I could see that,
Yeah.
especially when you're at home.
And it's pretty silent of a film. Like, he doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Or it's all
fine.
narration.
But that's all. I fucking love all of that shit.
I didn't mind it, but for like the general viewer, I think they're kind of like,
Yeah.
I need more.
Yeah,
I'm stupid. I need to
your average
yeah.
dumbass is not
Yeah,
gonna wanna fucking.
sit through that.
Yeah, they're not gonna get it.
Right.
And yeah, like a lot of people that like David Fincher have been with this and Mank being like, what the fuck is he doing?
Right.
And I think it's very interesting what he's doing with these two movies. Like, they're different than what he's done before. And I don't know, like I like the direction he's going. And I don't know, I think he has another movie in this he had like a 3-movie deal with Netflix. So
really?
One more.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll see if maybe we could get him back on the movie screens.
Well, look.
Or like I said, this movie, he made this movie, the type of movie this is, he knows he's not going for best director, best picture.
Well,
Which I said, like, he should be nominated for best director for this movie, because this movie was directed fucking flawlessly.
Yeah,
and if you're going to give a fucking trophy out for being a good director,
Right.
he should be considered for this movie.
right. At
Like,
least nominated.
Whether
At least
he wins or
nominated.
not, no.
Yeah.
Nolan needs the Oscar this year. Come
Yeah,
on now.
yeah.
But there's no way you shouldn't fucking recognize him for this movie, because this movie is fucking perfect when it comes to it being directed.
Absolutely, Nolan's gonna take it, and I think he's aware of that. Where he's like, "Hey, well, Nolan will do the big blockbuster film, which not only is, intellectual and fucking really pretty and all of the above,
And devastating.
yeah, and you have Robert Downey in the fucking middle of it, like a fucking true champion that he is,
Fuck.
kills it. And I'll take care of the fucking streamers. Don't trip.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the people at home. I'll give them something to think about.
I don't give a fuck about the Oscars. I mean, I do and I don't. I think they're a big fucking sham, but I still want fucking Christopher Nolan to get one.
I think he'll get it this year, bro.
So I want him to get one.
Glorious
and I
film.
also want David Fincher to one day have a fucking Oscar. I want fucking Tarantino. I mean, Tarantino has an Oscar for writing.
Right,
He at least has an Oscar. I think he should get one for directing.
right.
I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should have been
That was it.
his.
Right.
I think the more I've watched that movie, the more I'm like, fuck, is this movie a fucking
I'm telling you,
masterpiece?
we just watched it recently, my girl and I, and it was funny too because Lex is like, "Are you guys watching this movie for real?" And he was in the starter. I'm like, "Yeah." And then he came back yesterday. He's like, "Did you guys really finish it?" We're like, "Yeah."
Dude, it's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. The more I watch it, I'm like, fuck, is this his best fucking movie? It might be. It's top 3.
It's really good. But yeah,
I want all these guys, like, they all deserve it. They all fucking deserve it. They are the best directors right now. Marty Scorsese has his Oscar. Killers of the Flower Moon's very fucking good.
Right.
I need to rewatch it without like having to pee the whole fucking time.
Right.
But it's fucking great. It's very fucking good. The movie looks beautiful. I will say this. Out of the actors in it, Leo is not, like, I am not even worried about him coming in and swooping the Oscar from Cillian.
Right.
I think for right now, Cillian's still
He's
the
top
front
of the game.
runner.
Yeah, he's top of the game.
And I was worried that fucking Leo was going to come in and be like, fuck you, buddy.
Right.
But I am happy to say that his performance is not bad.
Right.
But it is not the best performance in that movie.
You know what? Shout out to Cillian, bro. I recently watched him and the, what's her fucking name? Rachel McAdams classic. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Red Eye?
Of course.
I haven't seen it in forever, but
Terrible
I really,
movie.
you don't
Terrible
really,
movie. Yeah.
I liked it.
Cillian crushes it.
He's gorgeous.
He's so. I feel like. I
He's
feel like
prettier than Rachel McAdams.
honestly, he looks so good in that, and
His eyes, his hair.
I know. I looked at Rachel kind of weird for that one. I was like, I'm typically drooling, but I don't know if she's.
If
she's
you
not
put her next to Killian, though, you're not as high.
I know exactly what you're talking about. 'cause
He's like prettier than most fucking women, especially in that movie.
Yeah, he
in that
looks
movie,
really charming.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
The first like 20 minutes of that movie are kind of like a rom-com, aren't they? They're like
That's what I was gonna
falling
say.
in love.
100%. I was like, it's like a thriller rom com, bro.
That's what makes that movie so awesome.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
dare you?
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
know.
seen it in forever.
I mean, I'm just talking shit because it's an older movie too. But I almost laughed. I was like, this is like the funniest thriller long rom com that I've
it
ever
gets so
seen.
silly by the end
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
with the whole throat thing.
I like that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Killian's
You know,
the man.
so
Give
look-
him an Oscar.
You know, we're talking Saw. We're talking a little bit Anaconda. You know, type of. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. You remember the puffer fish, right? Anaconda?
Yeah.
Remember when the guy took his fucking scuba gear off and just let a fish in there?
Yep. That's what I mean. But I'm sure he'll take it.
But with Killers
He
of the Flower
deserves it.
Moon, Lily Gladstone, she's the female lead. She's outstanding in it. Outshines Leo for sure.
Cool.
Leo has kind of a subdued performance, you know, and it's something we've seen from him before, like
Right.
kind of like the hick kind of character, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, he's putting an accent or whatever that we've kind of seen before.
Right.
A similar performance. So as good as it is, it's like you're like, okay, like you've done this before.
Right.
But you know who fucking I think crushed it in that movie is De Niro.
Really.
He's so fucking good in
I'm
it.
with that.
He's so evil. He's so evil in this film, and
He's Italian.
and he's so good.
Right.
He's so fucking good. Where also, you know, I'm rooting for Downey Jr. to win for Best Supporting.
Right.
But
Tough
De
second, huh?
Niro's
Okay,
right
okay.
there, dude. De Niro's
Well,
right there.
That's fine.
I think it's a great fucking performance. I really loved it.
And,
So.
and I mean that's what these movies are for. That's why these guys are at the top of the game. These directors, these two juggernaut fucking directors who have stood the transition of time in movies and just culture, Hollywood with their strikes and all this bullshit and all the shit that's changing. Like they still manage to pull through with films like this. And again, it's not. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite films that he's done, but it was a good movie. It stands out from what's being pumped out there, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll respect it. I do respect this director. I do respect what the fuck these guys are doing. It's cool to talk about it in depth like this because you don't get that chance if you're just viewing or, you know,
Yeah.
someone who just goes to the movies to watch it. They might not understand. But like this movie that is probably the length of this podcast is it's not like for the it is but isn't for the general consumer. It's just, you know, hey, you want to have a smart watch, check this movie out. Pay attention because that's another thing too. Not only is this guy literally telling you the details of every step that he's taking, you know that these Fincher films require your attention on a different level. So you're like already like ready for it, bracing for it. You're like, what's happening? What's the foreground here? What's all that type of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to pay attention to these movies. This isn't the Transformers film.
Yeah. You have a Wahlberg in this one, all right?
Donnie Wahlberg was a good kid. Okay? And he got fucking sword.
Yeah. Big time.
Anyways, I think that should wrap it up for this episode.
Yeah, it deserves that, so I respect it.
Well, you know, Fincher in general. And then we also had to tell the tale of how you might have been murdered.
Might have been, bro. Might have been. And
any last thoughts on The Killer? Fucking.
I still stand by the 7 with a 6.8. It's okay. I did like it. Fassbender for life. He's great, no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think it maybe because again the expectation for these Fincher films and even Mank. I really liked fucking Mank. I might have expected a little bit more from a movie called The Killer.
Right. Well, it definitely wasn't the movie I thought it was going to be.
Right.
That's for sure.
Right.
That's from the minute it started, I was like, this is not what I expected.
Right.
But all right, I'm here.
Go.
I'm here.
And I'm going to give it my best shot. Yep.
Yeah, I really loved it. I don't think it's one of his best movies for sure. I still stand by me giving this an 8 or even an 8.5. I like really loved it.
Nice.
And even though I don't think it's one of his best movies, I still think it is one of my favorite movies this year. I'm sure once we make our lists or whatever, it'll be in my top 10, probably top 5 movies of this year.
For sure.
I really loved it. Anyways, thank you for listening to the show, guys. Make sure you follow us on the social media, Facebook, Instagram. Give us some likes, some follows, Spotify, show us some love. Make sure you listen to the shows on the network. We are brought to you by Salad Bites Media, of course, each and every episode. Our producer, Ozzy Boy, out there with Salinas Underground Podcast and doing his thing. Producing a lot of podcasts out there, so make sure you listen to all of that stuff. And Bono?
That's it, man. Just have a fucking good one. Watch movies. It's Christmas time coming soon, so you know that Christmas movie's going to come out.
That's right.
I don't know what you're going to watch, but
I mean, Die Hard's in the movie theater right now, so I'm probably going to go watch Die Hard any one of these days.
Okay, I see that.
Oh, but my Christmas movie? I don't know. What's going to be out for Christmas?
I know something's going to be released on Christmas.
Like fucking Aquaman?
Oh, I think you're right.
We'll see. We'll see what we watch, guys. Anyways, thank you for listening. And as always, sayonara, Sammy.
Later.
The Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour.